Ivy League University.
That's what it is.
Yes,
You
indeed.
guys don't like my university. I wish I could draw a graduation cap. I can't. So I could imagine grad cap here. Okay. All right. So thank you all for coming out. I'm glad that we could all meet today. Sit over there, my chair. You're the boss. So I wanted to start off by saying happy birthday to LaShanti. Okay, y'all tell her one more happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
She's finally gonna be 16. We're
I was gonna get that balloon too.
Okay, Sophie. And then I wanted to say a big welcome to the newer members of the team. So we have LaShanti, we have Tia. You guys love them, right?
Yeah, awesome.
And the newest member of the team, Mandy, our new nurse practitioner. You guys are acting like you're not happy. Come on, put your hands, put your feet down already.
Okay, move forward.
And the older people on the team, like Chelsea. Don't worry, she's Asian, so you're just. But Chelsea, so Mandy, have you guys met? No. So
Just
past each other. Okay, so this is the wonderful Chelsea. She's our PA. We love her. And this is Mandy. We're happy to have her on the team. So. And then Cynthia, who says we only see her once in a while. You're here.
Every bloom.
She's primarily in Peachtree Corners, so. And then that's Natalie, the workaholic. So if you're ever wondering why the lights are on at 9 o'clock, don't worry about it. She's here. That's what it is.
And meet my partner, Dr.
No. I leave when you're still here. So this is all your fault. And then Charmaine, who fed all of us, so please tell her thank you.
Thank you, man.
And then Safi, what are you?
She's the everything girl.
She's the chief storyteller of Ivy League Pediatrics. So you see lots of videos and reviews and stuff like that. That's her thing. All right, and I'm just me. I work here. So what I wanted us to do today is kind of get everybody on the same page. We're in different places. We work different schedules. Most of us are part-timers, if you will. You know, we're just all over the place. So this way everybody can kind of be on the same page, know where we're headed and all that kind of stuff. I will try, we have a lot of stuff to cover, but I will try to go through it quickly so that way you can enjoy the rest of your long lunch break, right? Without listening to me. Okay, so I want us to go over some of these things. So these we've talked about before. And I'm hoping that my older people will not put me to shame, right? Why did you say Natalie? You're one of the older people. Did you hear that? Okay, so the mission statement of Ivy League Pediatrics. What's the mission statement?
To provide expert medical care with unparalleled customer service
In a
profitable way.
So, you know, we fight about this every day. Okay. So, but the easy way to remember it is that there are 3 components. So the very first one is expert medical care, which trumps everything else. So we want to be nice, we want people to love us, but first of all, we need to do the right thing. So expert medical care, second component is unparalleled customer service. And that's why we're big on wait times and being warm and friendly, whether you feel like it or not, and all that stuff, because that's just the world we live in. Profitable way, because I love making payroll. Okay? Don't want to tell no stories. All right? So we provide expert medical care with unparalleled customer service in a profitable way. And that's kind of the decisions that we make and all that is all based off of that and in that order. Okay? So that's the mission statement. Then core values.
Timeliness, integrity, innovative, excellence, smart.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm reading it right here. ready for the meeting.
No, you could have put it in your heart and been ready.
I've been trying. I can't remember it like a mission statement.
Okay, so it's ties, but it does have two I's. So the first one is timeliness, and that is, okay. And timeliness is with everything. It's coming on time, answering the phone on time, responding to patients on time, getting patients in and out on time. It's just timeliness with everything. The second I is
Innovation.
And what that refers to is just constantly being on the lookout for better ways to do stuff. So the ideology of the way it is the way it's always been, and that's the way you want it to be. We just don't roll with that. So, which means, for me, really, if you walk up and you're like, we do this like this, we could do this way. I'm not like an old dog hanging on to my ways. I'm like, what do you mean? This is the way it's been done since the olden days. You're like, none of that. Just change. If you need to change something, just change it. Second I? Integrity. So integrity is from the root word integer, which means one. So that means what you say. When you write stuff from an angle, it looks like it's the wrong spelling. I keep looking back. It means you and your word are one. So if you tell a mom, I'm going to call you back, you call them back. I'm going to send a script, you send a script. What you say is what you do. Okay? And the E?
Excellent.
Okay. So excellence means doing the best with the resources that you have. So we don't wait until we have a bigger facility or a nicer facility or we don't wait for any of that. Where you are now, with the resources you have now, do the best that you can do. Right? So that's excellent. Okay, and the S?
Smiles.
All right, so if you think about it, everybody who works at Disney is always smiling. It is not possible that it's because of the way they feel. Right? It is not possible. So it is a decision. It's an outward display of a great attitude, right? So you don't have to necessarily feel like it, but if you think about your clients, your patients, their families, that's something that they will value. It's something that makes the atmosphere better. Who wants to come to an office where everybody's frowning, right? So smiles. In the beginning, if you want to become a big smilist, I made up that word, it doesn't exist. It will seem like you're faking it. It will feel weird, it will feel exaggerated, but it's actually normal. And then after a while, it becomes, second nature. So sometimes you'll see that I sing song into rooms. Good morning, how are we doing? And I may have had the worst morning, but that's besides the point, right? So it's just a display of a great attitude, okay? All right, and if you no, let me finish asking my questions. No. Then I'll give it back.
I don't have any other notes, I promise that.
Okay, so these are your our core values. Okay. Okay, beautiful. We got it? Mm-hmm. Yes? All right, so mission statement, 3 components, core values, we have those 5 values. Now, I want us to, I'm going to need to wipe this. Does anybody need to look at this? No? Pictures? No? Okay. I'm going to I have to look for a cuter name because assembly line really sounds so bad. But what it is it's a pictorial description of what happens with our patients door to door. All right, so that we do this so that we can find areas where you have bottlenecks, the reasons why maybe we wanted shorter wait times but they're longer, it shows you where you have opportunities to make things better. So, why is my hand thing not working? Okay. Maybe? No? Don't kill my stuff! Don't write on yourself, please. I knew that's what you were going to do. Okay, awesome, thank you. All right, so give me the...
Pre-check-in, check-in, triage, doc, post-doc, and then check out, I believe. Right? Post-doc and then check out.
Oh, I love y'all. Oh my word.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay. So that's kind of full circle. So pre-check-in really refers to, I think even your reminder calls are on there. Checking your immunizations to make, not immunizations, your insurance to make sure patients are eligible to be seen that day. If they're patients with old balances, you take note of that, so when they come in, that can be done. That's all part of pre-check-in, which you might go like, yeah, whatever, but if this is not done, and they come in like 5 minutes late, and they have an old balance and they're like, I've never heard of it. That's all the time that they had an appointment, but they can't go anywhere because we haven't taken care of that. So this can slow down everything. That's just the way that is. Then for your check-in is when, you know, you give them all their forms, you collect whatever balances need to be collected, and they're ready to go. Triage is when nurses grab them, take them to the back, do their vitals, if there are labs that need to be done before the doc goes in, labs are done and all of that. Here is where the provider comes in. Now, the provider is the one who potentially will spend the most time of any of these blocks with the patient. So here is your biggest rate limiting step, right here. So what that means is, for everybody else here, you want to be doing everything that you can to put your provider in the room. Every time your provider is standing, hanging by the front desk, they're waiting for a patient, your wait times are just getting longer. Like every single time. So you want to set it up where, so that's why if you have a twofer that comes in and a sick visit that comes in, or like take the sick visit back first, get your provider in the room, then go work your twofer. You just want your provider in the room, okay? Then your post-op would be if after that you have to do labs after the doctor leaves, or vaccines after the doctor leaves, or give a referral, or any of those kind of things. Now with this, the tricky thing about this is more a customer service thing than a rate limiting step, because people, you know, the way if somebody has a well check but they're not getting shots, to them they're like, so I don't really need to go, you know? Now with post-doc, they've seen the doctor. So the visit is over. So every time they're spending waiting for you to come in and do shots, or waiting to come do labs, their dissatisfaction is growing by the minute. So you don't want this to last long. Now, when you get, this looks pretty on paper, but when you get to the floor, it is what it is. So you do what you have to do. But it's just to bear that in mind. So anywhere you can shave off a minute or shave off 2 minutes, you do that, because as far as they're concerned, they're done, and you're just wasting their time. Checkout would be, you know, scheduling your next appointments and stuff like that, which is really a huge thing because you do want to create that loop. Parents are busy enough; they're not going to be going like, I wonder what I should do today. Yeah, that's true. Johnny needs his 5-year check. They're not thinking of any of that. So when they're in the office, is the easiest time to capture for them to do visits. And then we also want to remember that PCC is pretty cool in the sense that it links the families together. So if somebody came for a checkup or someone came for a sick visit, and you want to be looking for the other siblings who are also overdue, okay? So that's it. So in between each of these points are opportunities for waste. And then that's why we take note of it, so you can get rid of all of that.
Question,
Yes.
would it be okay to change if, for post-op, if it's in front of the doctor coming in? Is that possible if the
You
provider?
guys are about to mess with me. How is post-op gonna be in front of the
Well,
doctor?
I mean, if
That's
you have, I'm sorry.
I'm just, I had to say that. I was just messing with you. Go ahead.
If you have a parent that will allow you to give them the shots before the doctor comes in, is that okay?
It makes it harder for the provider, because the kid is done with the visit at that time.
They're crying and screaming.
They're done.
Don't wanna.
They're done with
Some
it.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them I've experienced some of them that just, once mommy picks them up, they're good.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
you don't want to change that.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then sometimes you really want to have a critical look at the vaccines, because sometimes they're on a weird catch-up type schedule.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just kind of weird. Sometimes they'll have questions and they won't ask you, and then the provider goes in and they ask the provider, then like, oh, maybe we would have held off on the shots today. Or there's so many variables with that. So, but it's not to say I haven't done it. Like, if we are running behind and I have a twofer and they're 11-year-old twins and we know what they need, I can pop in real quick and say, hey, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go see a patient and then we'll take care of this. So it's not
But
that
overall, you don't
but
want us to
overall,
do
I don't
that.
want to make it a standard.
Okay.
Yeah, because it has the potential to really backfire.
Okay.
But if it's a day where the schedule is wonky and you're like, hey, you can always ask the providers, right? Like,
Right.
hey, this is what is going on and we're running behind. What if we did this,
Yeah,
that? Then
that's-
you guys can work that out.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make it
Yeah,
uniform.
standard.
Yeah. Okay, make sense? Anybody want to take pictures? Wipe it off? I'm good? Okay.
But I'm not eating lunch. Oh, you guys are eating lunch. So.
Okay. All right, so we've done these. All right, so this is where we are going. Who knows what a BHAG is? BHAG.
Beehive?
I'm writing it.
Beehive. Oh.
That's what I thought she said beehive.
I did, yeah. Beehag. Don't be a hag? I don't know.
You guys see what I see in this office? And I didn't make it up. This is.
That's what's his name?
Oh, now you know.
I know.
Now you know what it is.
Ah.
It's a
Yeah.
BHAG. It's a
Yeah.
Very audacious goal.
Uh-huh.
That's what it means. Yeah. So what it means is a goal that you're like, whew, Lord Jesus, you better make this real, because I can't do it. But it's doable. Yeah. Okay. So that's what a BHAG is. All right. So, am I your way?
You're good.
All right. So this is our BHAG for 2019. So if you're ever wondering, I wonder what Dr. Una is thinking about, this is what I'm thinking about. So as far as patient visits, I think the most we've done, what was that, 84?
In a day?
Huh? Was it? We had a party that day. Okay, anyway, so this is the goal. Now both offices are built to be able to support 2 providers with 3 exams with each. So patient visit goal, 100 a day. And then the second thing is, I'll write these so that Cynthia can write them down and read them from her. A fully engaged, well-trained 18. Which I think we already have, but. And then, all right, so, no, not that order. Let me just write it out. Okay, so 2019, 100 patient visits a day, fully engaged, well-trained, 18, and best of Gwinnett as far as the perception of the practice, so based on positioning and based on profitability. Now, the reason for this is we don't really have the luxury of planning to stay small, because the smaller you stay, the more risky and volatile your business is. We are not volatile at all, but we have to plan to expand. The second thing is it will take a team to pull that off. It's not something that I can do. It doesn't matter how good I can be. It's not something that I can do. And this is because this is really nice though, isn't it? So that's really nice. But that's what we're thinking of. That's what we're pushing for. It will have to grow, not quite double, but like a third, I think, to hit that goal. A third of what we are now, but those are hittable. So when I'm dreaming and sleeping and thinking about IV, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. Right? Okay. So, so I went to check, right, on PCC, what percentage of our patients are up to date with their checkups? Who wants to pick a number?
64.
Oh, whatever. You know the number. What's wrong with you?
That's a great guess.
Who wants to take a picture? Oh, you have it? Everybody's good? Okay. Who was asking you? I'm going to buy you duct tape for the next meeting. Duct tape. Safi, duct tape for the next meeting.
There's tape in the other room. There's tape in the other room. I know where it is.
You know where it is. So one more word. Okay. So 64. And I was going like, but that's a D though. Yeah? I don't like D's. I mess with my patients who get D's. I mess with them so bad. Mom, the kid looked at his mom. Is she supposed to be asking you all this stuff? Isn't she a pediatrician? I'm like, it's part of your mental health. So yes, we're going to talk about it. Okay. So starting from February 1st, we are starting a campaign to push that number up. So I asked my bosses, Crystal and Chelsea, and they said we can do 75. My boss.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what Crystal said.
Okay, but you said we could do this over 3 months, right?
Yeah, I think we agreed over 3 months.
Over
not
3
one-
months.
Not over 1 month.
No. February, March, April. Okay, so that's what the goal is, to push that up there. It's a lot of patient visits to pull that off, but so we're gonna do a number of things with it. We're gonna do the recaller, and then now for the providers, a lot of it will talking about it, a lot of it will fall on us because they'll listen to us more. It's just the way that it is. So if we're pushing it, then it supports everything else that everybody's doing. So whatever they come in for, we're like, oh my God, Johnny's not up to date. Oh, let's go get him scheduled and all that stuff. So you'll do that, do the recaller, do a lot of funny videos. I'm the prince of funny videos, so do a lot of funny videos. Makita already said that they're gonna do a photo shoot with me looking distraught because I have a D, and like, can you help out people to get an A? So they have all this fun stuff planned. I'm going to give everybody the details. She typed out a whole thing about it of what we'll do, but that's what that push is gonna be. But it's great that Mandy's on board now, so we can open up some more appointment slots. Because we haven't touched the recaller in months. You want to do the recaller? No. There's nowhere to put the patient. Like, don't touch it. So we haven't touched it in a while. But we do need to fix that. Now, I'm sure when you look at 64, you're like, well, we do well checks all day though. Like, how is that possible? So a lot of it is the older kids. So if you look at those that are under 15 months, it's about 84. And then if you look at 15 months to 3 years, it's about 68. Then it starts dropping to the 50s and the teenagers. So this is overall, right? So don't worry. Your numbers for your checkups they're a little higher, but on average, that's what it comes to. So we're gonna push and drive for that. So every time you open the chart, you're going to land on the medical summary page. It will tell you if they're up to date or not. If somebody calls in and say, oh, I need a refill on this, and you're like, by the way, Johnny hasn't had his checkup, let's get him in. Like, that's just our mantra. Nikita even has things like buttons. She's gonna give our graduation caps. So there's a day everybody's wearing graduation caps. Like, why are you guys wearing graduation caps? Oh, Dr. Una's graduation is coming up and she has a D. You want to help me get it in? There's all kinds of weird stuff coming up, but whichever. But it's to push that up. And pushing it up is not just for numbers, but there's so many things that could be caught and well checks. There's so many right habits that we can have our kids build just from well checks. We've had patients with who are pre-diabetic that are at a well check, we're like, okay, this is really ridiculous. We need to fix this. Now they're normal weight. So those things do make a huge difference. So we can't have 36% of our patients not up to date with their stuff. Okay, am I doing good on time?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. So now Slack is a communication app.
Mm-hmm.
So who here is on Slack? You're on Slack.
Shotzi's on Slack. Since
Cynthia, I sent you.
Yeah, you've done it twice.
Okay, I've done it twice. So you don't want to be on Slack.
Do I need another app?
Time out for you.
I sent her the email yesterday, so
She'll do that.
Yes.
Safi, you're on Slack, so we'll add you as well, okay?
Yeah.
So it's just a place that if we need to do whole office communication, we can put it on there. I don't expect you to go there every day like you do with Facebook and Instagram, but you can.
I don't have either one of those either. I like to come see you guys face to face.
Yeah, that's why we've only seen you once in the last 50 years. Touche.
I came last week. I was like, I haven't seen Dr. Una. I'm stopping over here. My dog was like, really, Mom? You off work? I was like, I don't care.
I saw you the other day.
Yeah.
I come to Peachtree Corner. Don't talk to me.
No, you were here for the piercing, and then I came over here the week after to see you.
Okay, so Slack. Okay. Just so if you need to put up stuff on there, or there's some article on customer service or something, or the lovely measles outbreak. Yeah. So, do you know that I worked in Nigeria for years, and I saw measles once? And in a first world-class nation, we have an outbreak.
Wow.
It is the most bizarre thing. But
Non-vaxxers, right?
Yes, the ones in Washington, all except one, they were saying were non-vaxxers, but they had like 4 of them that they weren't sure of their immunization status, but they thought they probably weren't. One had his vaccine. In Atlanta, they didn't release it yet. If they were
because that was they just talked about it yesterday.
Morning,
Yeah. Not today's Wednesday. Yeah, just yesterday was when they came up with that. But Washington State, crazy. New York, crazy. But anyway, I digress. It's such a contagious disease that once it's out, you can't put it back in the bottle.
Because is that not airborne or something like that?
It takes like 6 weeks. You can be contagious for 6 weeks before you have symptoms. And there were people who were at the Portland, Oregon basketball game
And the
at
airport.
And
the airport.
Wow.
So you have no
saw,
idea how many
yeah.
people, and those people at the airport were going somewhere. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, again, I digress. So measles, that's the world we live in now.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw the post of the lady who was like, I have a 3-year-old who is not vaccinated. And are there any precautions I should take to prevent my child from getting measles?
Vaccinated.
It has 56,000 comments.
Wow.
And the comments
were awesome.
And the comments are, some of them are awful. They're like, don't worry, it's natural selection. He'll just die. Like some of them are awful.
Wow.
And then some of them are like, no, essential oils and it should be just fine. Oh, stop by and buy a cough. It's awful. It's just like,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, but that's stupid. But anyway, okay, so back. Okay, so now, so this is Ivy League University. And in universities, there are these things called books. So this is book of the month. Okay, and Cynthia, I can already feel the face you're making from behind me, and I don't care. Okay, so all right. So the providers, they have their own stuff that they're reading. So which are bigger or worse, but these are for you guys. Okay. Who said that?
Okay, can you read it can you listen to it on the way home?
Should I read it?
I'm in Peachtree Corners.
Should I read it to you every night at bedtime?
I'm in Peachtree Corners. Audible will work wonders for me. Coming home from work. Look, she skipped me.
You have yours.
I got mine. Yeah.
Okay. I purchased these books with money, and I'm not charging you. All I need you to do is read them and return them to me in same fashion, okay? If your children are given to coloring, buy them coloring books. Don't let them color on my book. Okay, but I'm just saying, take care of the books. Okay, so this is a fantastic book. It is written by one of my Disney people, and anybody that knows me knows I love Disney. It's about the customer rules. So when you read a book, the biggest thing about a book is not like, oh, that's wonderful, that's amazing. The beautiful thing is, this is what you're going to do with the information, right? So what you can do is you can just, and you can type it out, do it on the note app on your phone. Like for each chapter, you're like, oh, that's interesting. This is the way I think this will work with what I do, right? It doesn't have to be more than one thing. Just write one thing. But it's all about, customer service and all of that good stuff, okay? Natalie's passing a piece of paper. Just write what the number of the copy that you have and your name, okay? And then at our weekly meetings, we'll just, share what we got out of it and keep it moving, okay? All right, beautiful. Any questions? I think I've talked for a long time.
You did very good on time.
I did good on time?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Good job, Doctor.
Here you go.
Yeah, that's what that's why I said what I said.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I have some coloring artists. Okay, so, but this is who we are. This is what we're trying to accomplish, and I know that I can't accomplish it by myself. So I'm glad that we're a team, and let's have some fun together. See how it plays out. I need to learn how to draw a graduation cap. Yeah.
Any questions, comments?